All right, so once you're done with the render, what you're going to do is that you're going to be just having all these frames in a folder. And I didn't actually render out the animation that we just made. I'm just going to be using the frames from the previous animation, which I showed you. Because the process is the same, I didn't want to render it out again, because it's going to take a lot of time and computer resources for no reason. So yeah, once you basically have these files, what you can do is you can just open up Premiere Pro or any other editing software that you might be using. So once Premiere Pro has been opened, what you're going to do is you're just going to be creating a new project. I'm just going to be calling it animation course, because I'm going to be using the same project for all of the videos in our course. And so what we can do is we can just double click the project section right here to import all the animations. So I'm just going to go to the folder where I rendered it out. So right here, what you can do is you can just select the first frame of your animation, and you can click this image sequence button right here. This is very important because it's going to tell Premiere Pro that what you're doing is you're importing an image sequence, which is just going to import all these frames as one video, right? So just click open, and I would just see it here. What you can do is you can just drag this in to your timeline like that, and you're going to see that if you scrub through the timeline, you're going to see that the video is playing. Perfect. So here you can go ahead and color grade your render. So just select one sort of frame, which I think this should be a nice frame, which you just want to have as a reference before like you want to have a frame which you can look at and then color grade your render accordingly. So I'm just going to be doing that with this frame. So again, this is I'm not going to be going into too much detail about color grading in Premiere Pro because this is mainly focused towards Blender. But what we're going to be doing is that we're just going to be opening the color grading tab, which we don't have right now. Yeah, we don't have right now, so we're just going to go up to window right here. You might not be able to see it. Let me just make sure. I think you can. Yeah, never mind, you can. But just go up to window and make sure that your lumetri color is checked. Just make sure this is checked. It's going to create a new tab somewhere. I'm just going to be dragging this into this exact same area right here, so we can just have it right here without having to give up extra space. I'm just going to be increasing the size of this. Make sure this is selected, otherwise it's going to be grayed out. So select it and then just scale it up like that, like increase the size of this viewport. So now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go back to lumetri color, and we can just start to sort of color grade this. So the temperature, what I usually do for the color, for the white balance, is I just select the eyedropper tool, and I just select something which is supposed to be white in our scene, and it usually just does a good job of sort of adjusting the color temperature. Right now you can see that I was pretty much fine before, so we don't really need to sort of do a lot of work. You can try with a few different points just to see which one looks better. Yeah, I think something like that should be fine. They're pretty much all the same. But then what you can do is you can also increase the contrast a little bit. I'm not going to be doing too much, but slight bit like that. Maybe something like 9. And the highlights, maybe increase them a little bit, something like that. Not a lot though. Shadows, bring them down slightly. Whites and blacks I usually don't touch. Let's go to creative next, and we honestly don't need to do a lot with this render. We can just increase the vibrance slightly, something like that. Faded film is something which is very subjective. Some people like it, some people don't. I personally don't like it as much, so I'm not going to be adding it. And we're essentially done. You can just add some curves, but I'm not going to be doing that because it's going to be too complex and we don't really need to do as much color grading. You're going to see that this is the before and this is the after. Just a tad bit more contrast, just a tad bit more vibrance, and just like some basic and minor adjustments, right? So yeah, but the main reason why we imported it inside of Premiere Pro was to just compile this into one video, right? And we have done that. So what we can do is we can just press Control M on our keyboard, or Command M if you're on Mac. Then what you can do is it's going to open this export tab. Alternatively, what you can do is you can just simply click this export button right here. And so now what we're going to be doing is that we're just going to be setting a file name. So I'm just going to be calling this course_anim, and then you can just set a location where you want to render it. Yep. And the quality, what I usually do with the quality is just match source high bitrate. If you can't find this, you just have to go down and go to more presets, and then you can search for match source. Oops. Match source, and let me just search. Yeah, match source, high bitrate right here. Okay, so click OK. Because if you do something other than match source, if let's say we're doing the 1080p HD, what would happen is it would render out what do you call it? A horizontal image, a horizontal video, which is obviously not what we want. We want it to be a square image, just a square video, just like we rendered it from Blender, right? So what we can do is we can just click export, and it is going to be done in just a bit. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this render. We are basically done. If you were following along, congratulations, you just made yourself a really good render. If not, be sure to get started on the project and be sure to complete it as soon as possible. But yeah, if you play it, you're gonna see. Okay, I don't know why this player is. So this player is not playing it correctly, and I don't think I have VLC media player. So I might have to use this. Yeah, this works. I don't know why the default Windows player was not playing it correctly, but usually I recommend people to just download a VLC. I recently got this laptop, so that's why I'm not really, I haven't really installed a lot of softwares in there. Thanks a lot for following along if you were, and I really hope you learned something new from this. If you have any problems, feel free to reach out to me. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Bye.